So today I'm talking about a GM or Chevy with the P1682 code, what it is and how you go about fixing it. And so what is a P1682 code? Well, it's a driver 5 line 2. And depending on the scan tool, you might also get an ignition 1, switch circuit 2. But what does this all mean? Well, basically there's two ignition voltages. One ignition voltage is going to always be on, it's going to always be hot. And this voltage helps supply what they call keep alive memory, which is things such as throttle learn, things like seat adjustments, or basically anything that you would lose when you remove the battery cable. You would lose voltage to these different things. So there's certain things that are always getting voltage, and this is going to be ignition 1. And then there's a second ignition voltage that only comes on when you turn the key into the on position. And so when you put the key in the on position, you're going to get another ignition voltage, which is going to supply voltage to other things. And for some reason, these two ignition voltages are not the same. They're different. And the computer's seeing this, so it's sending out this P1682 code. And one thing about a P1682 code is that sometimes it can be kind of difficult to troubleshoot because you can't be dealing with wiring and circuits and different things like this, which sometimes can be kind of problematic to troubleshoot. If you do have to start troubleshooting voltages and different things like this, be sure to get schematics and diagrams for your specific GM or Chevrolet vehicle because there can be differences. But just keep in mind that sometimes this can be kind of hard to troubleshoot. And so what are some possible causes of a P1682 code? Well, the first thing is that there could be a bad relay or a blown fuse or something like this. So you can't go check all the fuses and relays to see if they're any good. Which fuses and relays to check is going to be different. It's going to depend on the year, the vehicle, things like this. But basically check anything that says like ignition or ECM or anything like this. You want to go through and make sure none of those fuses are blowing and all those related relays are good. The next thing that could cause this is that the ignition switch went bad and it needs to be replaced. If anything goes wrong inside that ignition switch with the contacts or the connections or anything like this, then it could cause problems and it's going to cause issues. So the next thing that could cause this is a bad ignition switch. And the next thing that could cause this is that there's something wrong inside the wiring, like an open or short. And this is going to include all the wires up around the ignition switch. One of these connectors might not be making a good contact, or one of these wires inside the harness might have pulled out a little bit, or something along these lines. And all the ignition wires going up over to the fuse box and around to the ECM and things like this. But the next thing on the list is that there's some kind of wiring problem. And the last thing on the list is going to be that the engine control module is having an issue. And this isn't too common. Usually it's going to be something else. It's going to be inside the wiring or a bad ignition switch or something like that. But it is possible that it's gone bad. Usually when there's some kind of issue with the engine control module, you're going to get other codes like U codes, like U0100 or something like that. Not all the time. It could be that just that one specific circuit has failed. But usually if there is a problem with the engine control module, you're going to get other codes. So if you are getting other codes, be sure to pay attention to that. And so that's basically it. I just want to give a basic overview of how you go about fixing a GM or Chevy with the P1682 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me. I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.